Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to another catfish video. So today I'm actually going to be talking about season 7 episode 32, Angel and Remy. I wanted to do this episode because I just think it's really crazy how people reacted in this episode. Like, it's truly insane, and you'll see why I say that once we get into it. So let's just jump right in. So we start off with Angel being the one to write into the show. We find out she's 18 and that she is from Dallas. And she also has a 3-month-old son. She details that she met Remy on Plenty of Fish because she was feeling lonely and just thought that she needed somebody. So in the email, she basically says they're supposed to meet for a movie date, but it fell through for reasons that I'm going to explain a little bit later on. But the basics that you need to know is that he tried to send her to this apartment, but he ended up not being there and is just like, I see you. Yeah, because that's not creepy at all. Not only that, but I do have a gripe in this episode that they kind of fully put on blast this random person's address. Like, they put the actual address fully on there, just out there on the screen, unblurred. And they do something else a little bit crazy, but like I said, you'll see later on in the video. Anyway, like I said, she goes to meet him, but he just isn't there. She doesn't see him, and he's just like, I see you. So in this episode, we have a guest co-host. I forgot to say that earlier on, but Nev and Elle are the ones doing this. So Nev and Elle reach out to Angel and call her on the phone, and basically Angel gives them the rundown and everything. And she's just like, yeah, they call on the phone all the time, they text all the time, and they have even FaceTime, but he only showed the top of his head. But honestly, he's doing a lot better than quite a few other catfish that have been on the show, so at least she got somewhat of a FaceTime out of him, I guess. So while she's on the call with them, she goes into more detail about how that meetup that I was mentioning went. So here's the full story. So they go to meet at the movie theater, but for whatever reason, his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend that he still lives with is there with him, and she wants to basically beat Angel up. So he was like, yeah, my ex wants to confront you and all of these different things. And for some reason, the ex-girlfriend texts Angel directly off of her own phone and is like, yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass, basically. And since she now wants to fight Angel, Angel does agree to do this, and they go to meet at the apartment address that was given. So they go and look for the apartment, but they can't find it, and I'm not sure if maybe like how this happened or how it was overlooked or whatever, but they go and they don't see him anywhere, and no one is to be found. But he then asks, you have a Nissan with a black bumper on it, don't you?
What happened?
I'm like, okay, well, I'm here. And he was like, well, do you see me? And I'm like, no, I see a lot of people walking around, but I don't think that's you. He was like, well, are you wearing a highlight yellow jacket in a Nissan with the black bumper? And I'm looking around, I'm like, yeah, but where are you?
Which is creepy because she says that she couldn't see him. So what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Also, though, I just think it's so embarrassing that the ex-girlfriend or girlfriend or whatever she is really wanted to meet up with this girl and fight when they've never met, they've never talked or anything like that. It's just embarrassing overall. I don't know why she feels the need to do this. I don't know if she's trying to prove a point to the guy, but both of them are a little... that's a choice. Yeah, I'll just say that. That's certainly a choice. Anyway, though, so she tells them that she decided to look at his Facebook account, and she saw that there was actually another Snapchat on his Facebook account that was different than the one that she had for him. So he basically had given her a fake Snapchat. So she tried to reach out to him on this Snapchat, but never received a response back, and she did the same for his Facebook. and never received a response back on the Facebook that was given to her. To me, this would have been an obvious red flag. If I send you a friend request and we're apparently in a relationship, why wouldn't you add me? Like, I don't understand what would be the reasoning there. If I'm trying to connect with you and you sent me the Facebook yourself, then what are you even doing, dude? Anyway, so Neve and Elle do some investigating, and this part feels really rushed to me, but anyway, they managed to get a hold of the real guy through his Snapchat, which I don't know how they even did that. Usually they would just reach out over Facebook, which is why I'm a little bit confused as to why the guy even responded on Snapchat and why they use Snapchat as a means to get in contact with him. Unless he just wasn't responding on Facebook, but I don't know. Like I said, that part felt really rushed and I think they might have cut it out. So anyway, they managed to get a Snapchat call from the real guy who was like Remy, but I think his name was like Devin. So they get into contact with Devin and he's like, no, I don't know any girls named Angel, and it was a very quick call and they end it there. Anyway, they then decide to investigate the address that Angel was given. I have a lot of thoughts on this, because what do you mean? Like, okay, they decide to look him up, so they look him up on some website, look at the residents of this apartment complex, and see someone with the initial R. Jackson. This is frightening for a multitude of reasons. But what the fuck? Why does this even exist in the first place? I have so many questions. How can you just so easily access this information? It's very concerning, very scary, I would say, because this is why I don't put my actual address on things. It is literally so scary. Anyway, they then decide that it's a very great idea to go out and look for this guy physically. Like, they went to the apartment complex physically and asked random tenants if they know a guy named Remy there.
Alright, well, here's someone you want to ask her. You just roll out a window.
Hey, excuse me? Hi. Do you know somebody named Remy who lives here? Someone named Remy? No? Okay.
You guys know someone named Remy? No? Alright, thank you.
So much could have gone wrong here. They find apartment 2056, which I'm only saying it because it's in the episode. I'm probably not going to put the full address on there like they did, but they find apartment 2056 and they knock on the door. Keep in mind they're in Texas, by the way. If you're not American, maybe you don't know. But as someone who has been to Dallas itself, Texas in general, actually, I would never do that anywhere in Texas. That's just a bad idea. You literally could get pew-pewed. I don't know why you would ever think this is a good idea. I don't know if maybe they did it because they had a camera crew and they were like, well, nothing's gonna go wrong. People think nothing's gonna go wrong all the time, and then it does. So that's not an excuse, you guys. Maybe don't do that. You're literally putting your lives at risk to find a guy that might not even live there. Anyway, some guy answers the door and is like, no, Remy does not live here, because they just asked if Remy lives there. He says no. I would have been sketched out if a random man walked up to my house and asked if Remy lived there. And if I was Remy, even if I was actually Remy, I would be very concerned. I'd be like, how did you even find me? It's giving stalker a little bit. I guess that's like the entire point of Catfish, is to kind of investigate, but you're basically internet stalking people. I don't know. So after this very strange interaction, they leave, get back in the car, and Elle is like, hey, do you think that we should just tell Remy that we're here at his apartments if he wants to meet? Huh? What made you think that was a good idea? I have so many questions for these thought processes that are happening in this episode. I don't understand. Anyway, even Neve is like, no, we're just gonna call Angel and talk to her about it and tell her everything that we found. So anyway, they talk to Angel and then end up meeting back up with her, and she is with her friend Mari, who I think was very briefly mentioned earlier on, but I didn't mention her because I didn't feel like it was important at the time. They meet back up with Angel and Mari, and Mari gives her side, basically finding out that Angel was talking to the guy and how she was so happy for her, and like that's so great, like you don't have to be alone anymore, and all of these different things. But she also mentions how they all group FaceTimed, and I just think that's a little bit weird, but you know, obviously I don't know what the situation was there for why they decided to group FaceTime, but okay, so they group FaceTimed, and I'm not sure if it was in this group FaceTime that this happened, but basically Mari was like, yeah, Remy tried to turn us against each other and tried to say that I slept with him and all of these different things, and even said that they were talking to each other. And okay, well, sure, people lie all the time. That's just a little bit random. Just something to keep in mind for later. So they kind of mention how he has a fake number. He's using an app number, which is not surprising. And they're like, so how did you guys FaceTime, you know? And he was using an Apple ID to FaceTime, basically. And they're like, okay, do you still have the email? So then Mari is the one who goes searching for the email in the call log. And this girl, they notice in the call log that she was talking to him at 4 a.m. And they pointed out and they're like, whoa, why are you talking to this man at 4 in the morning? She tries to brush it off and she's just like, oh, I was just trying to see if he was going to show his face or the apartment that he was at. At 4 in the morning? Why would he do that? Then Neve asks if he was flirting during this call and she's like, probably, but I don't care. What do you mean? You didn't tell your friend about this? If he was flirting, wouldn't you be like, hey girl, your boyfriend was trying to flirt with me? But I guess that's kind of weird to try to explain. How do you explain to your best friend that, oh yeah, by the way, I was on FaceTime with your boyfriend at 4 o'clock in the morning, just having a nice little chat. I thought he was gonna, show his face or whatever. Yeah, if I was the friend, I would also be like, you're lying. You were not trying to see if he would show his face, but okay. Anyway, they still call her out for it though, because it is fucking weird. But anyway, so they move on and they're questioning, like, why would he even give out a real Facebook account if he's a fake person and gave out a fake Snapchat? It just felt very like his tracks were not covered very well, or like he was just being very lazy with it. And this questioning brings up a lot of emotions in Angel, which is very valid. And she starts crying and Mari is trying to comfort her through this. And I'm sorry, but it's still giving fake. I don't know. It's still giving fake. I wouldn't want to be comforted by her after learning that information from her. So then Neve tries to reach out to Remy. And Remy's like, no, I don't want to meet. I can't be on the show. And then he just hangs up on Neve. Which, okay, I guess that's not uncommon. But in response, they decide to give this very creatively crafted message and send it to him.
I said, so I'll give you to the end of the day. If you want to stop being a little bitch about it, man up and come forward.
I think I certainly would have gone about this a different way myself, but slay, I guess. You go, girl, I guess. In response, he literally just says, oh, like the letter O, just the letter O, and it's just so silly to me. Like, I guess bro was flabbergasted. So they finish the meeting and everything, and Neve is like, I didn't realize how involved Mari actually was in this. And yeah, neither did I. I still think it's very strange. I am glad that they mention how strange Mari's whole involvement in this is, though. Like, genuinely, I just want to stress that because it is very, very weird. I don't know. They go to, I believe, the next day, and Nev actually ends up getting a text from Remy, and he says that he does actually want to meet. So they make it to the place where they're meeting, which is in this park, and he has a hood on facing the lake that they are at. And once they actually approach him, they meet up, and he's like, yeah, no, Remy is not my real name, but I'm not gonna tell you my real name. That's a bitch move. Sorry. You got a lot of audacity to do that. I don't know. While talking to them, he confirms he does indeed have a girlfriend in real life. And so then their next question is, well, why do you even have a Plenty of Fish account if you have a girlfriend? Which, yeah. But he claims that it was a joke and that he wanted to see how long he could go before someone figured out that it was a fake profile. I don't think so, guy. I just don't think that's the truth. Nev says, well, that's a weird hobby.
That's a weird hobby.
It was just I'm doing my downtown.
And apparently he only talked to her because she was the first to reply. And he says that it meant absolutely nothing to him to continue talking to her all this time. And Nev doesn't believe that either, that, that it meant nothing to him to continue talking to her for, I believe, like 3 months. But regardless, he doesn't even really seem remorseful for this, so I just genuinely feel so angry for her at this point, because why did you, what is the reasoning? There has to be some other reasoning than, oh, I just thought it would be fun. Like, what, why? So Elle actually ends up pointing out that his body language clearly shows that he feels at least a little bad, and he's like, yeah, but not enough to apologize or tell her I'm wrong for everything that I did. Brother, what? I'm sorry, what? What? You're not gonna apologize? Why wouldn't you? You are the one who did something wrong. Why aren't you apologizing? Please be serious right now. What do you actually mean by that? You lied to this girl for months and had her stressed while she's trying to navigate being a new young mother. Yet you won't even say, I'm sorry, I apologize. You could have even pretended. I mean, I hate fake apologies, but you could have at least pretended for her sake. Like, come on, dude. Put your pride aside. Even Elle is like, you really wouldn't apologize? And he's just like, no. Okay. He said he never took it as though they were in a committed relationship, even though he offered to help her with her baby and, things of that nature. But anyway, then he tells us more of Mari's involvement in all of this.
What about when you told her that you slept with Mari?
I didn't. When I told her, Mari texted me and she wanted to plan to come over and hook up. I tried to warn Angel. Mari came on to me. She ended up sending me messages and videos, pictures.
He tells us of how Mari wanted to hook up with him and was sending pictures to him and videos, and wow. Angel didn't even want to believe it at first, so then he decides to show them evidence. He has screenshots of the text between him and Mari, and even still has the pictures for some strange reason. I didn't even want to believe him at first either, to be quite honest, but yeah, wow, that's crazy. Like, obviously no one just FaceTimes at 4 a.m. just to see if he was gonna show his face or the apartment that he lives in. But like, come on, man. He also says during this interaction that she actually knew what he looked like because he had propped his phone up and showed her. So, she also was lying about that, so that's great. Nev asks why he even came on and changed his mind, and he said who wouldn't want to be on TV? That is, yeah, okay, but you didn't want to come on just to be like, I'm sorry. I feel bad for doing this thing. I owe it to this person to at least tell them the truth. Why wouldn't you just go for that reason? You've lied this whole time. You could have lied about that too. After that, they decide it's time to part ways, which, yeah, good. And Elle is trying to comfort Angel in the car while she's very obviously in distress. Well, I wouldn't say in distress, but she's very clearly upset. It's not over yet, though, because now it's time to confront Mari. So they tell her everything that Remy said that they did, like the FaceTiming, And she's still lying and denying that they ever FaceTimed and that she saw his face. When they confront her about the pictures, she's like, I don't know how he got that because I didn't send anything to him. Okay. And Elle is like, well, this guy is not a hacker. Which, real, but wow, that's crazy. But Mari then tries to defend herself and is like, well, people that I've dated in the past have sent my pictures out. And Angel is like, yeah, I don't think they're just floating around like that. Yeah, I don't know why they would be. Dallas has a lot of people living in it, so I don't know why your pictures would be floating around all of Dallas and how Remy, of all people, would be one of the guys to receive those pictures. Anyway, Mari decides to finally kind of ease up on her lying and is like, yeah, but he would text first. Okay, well, she was still lying, so, I mean, she did ease up. She admitted that she was texting him and things, but you just lied again and said that he texted first when they've already seen the text messages and you were the one who texted first. And even if that were true, like, even if we were to just believe that he sent the text first at face value from her, they had already seen the text messages by this point, so they already knew that she had texted him first. Which it's still not an excuse, even if that was the case, because you shouldn't be sending pictures, videos, sexual texts to your best friend's boyfriend. That's really fake. And I just feel so bad, genuinely, for Angel for having to deal with not only a fake boyfriend, but now a fake best friend. Like, it really sucks to have thought that this person was gonna be your friend and have your back in everything, and then they turn around and show their true colors. It's truly... I don't understand how people like this exist and just go about their daily lives not feeling bad about doing things like this. Anyway, so then they go and do their 2-month follow-up, and Angel finds out that things like this have been happening apparently since nearly the beginning of their friendship, which is insane, but not at all surprising having dealt with someone who's like this. Yeah, it's not surprising at all. Like, it's just kind of crazy to me that there are so many girls out there like this just running through life, happily ruining relationships, and they just don't care. I don't understand how you just don't care about ruining someone else's happiness just for fun. Like, you went out of your way to mess with someone else. So clearly, Angel and Mari are no longer friends, as they should not be. This was an excellent learning lesson at a young age, because, wow, imagine being 30 and still doing crazy ass shit like that. Yeah, there's people that are still doing that at the big age of 30. Even older than that. Which is even more insane. By that point, you can't even be like, oh, my frontal lobe isn't fully developed. It's been fully developed. I'm so sorry. Anyway, though, that's all that happened in this episode. Oh yeah, they didn't manage to get back into contact with Remy, so there is no, like, 2-month follow-up with him. But I don't think anyone needs to hear from him. Yeah. So that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. This was quite insane to me. If you are a girl who does this to your friends, please stop and become friendless immediately. Because it's so wrong. And if you don't understand how it is so wrong, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should seek therapy. But anyway, if you have any suggestions for any other Catfish episodes that you would like to hear me talk about, please do leave them in the comments below. I will respond to you if you leave a comment. So you should definitely let me know if you have any other things you would like me to talk about. I just kind of talk about whatever I want on this channel. It's not streamlined. I just talk. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video, whenever that may be. And bye!